Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to unbox the K2 Plus and see what's inside the box. I'm then going to do a test print on TPU and ASA because they're not very commonly used and they're sort of people have problems with them. So let's see how the K2 Plus handles it. The ASA I'll run out of the CFS, the colour changing box, because that's a solid filament. So let's see how it goes in that. The TPU I can't, so I'll run that separately on the side spool. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Helps the channel out greatly. And at the end, if you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. There'll also be some affiliate links down in the description for Creality and Sunlight if you want to buy some stuff through there. If you go through my link, you get exactly the same price, but it just flings a bit of money over to the channel to help it keep running. Thanks guys, let's get into it. As you can see, it's a rather large box. It is roughly about 50 kilos worth of gear in here, so be really careful. Lifting it and stuff, you need at least 2 people. I can't lift it at all because of my back, but now these little, the way you do it, there's instructions on the top, but what it's telling you to do is these little bits that sit in all the sides, there's 2 on each side. Basically, if you can see, it's got a little thing in there, so basically it's in the box like that. You push those 2 bits together, pull it out, then the whole thing will come out. And what these do is hold this top on. So if I just undo all of them, so I've got them all off, and then what should happen, you just grab them by these handles here, and just wiggle it because it's not heavy, it's just a bit of cardboard now. Okay, and it allows you to lift the box off like that. Got this bit of plastic on the side, it's always good to have a little Stanley trimmer. Just cut the plastic, it's just holding all the bits together. Side bits to keep it sturdy on the side and protect all the sides of the box. Then you can just lift off the top bit, like so. It's really well packed, guys. All of this is just honeycomb cardboard and it's quite strong. Rightio, what have we got this time? We've got instruction manual and your sticker thing that they usually give out nowadays. First box, okay. First box, what have we got? We've got, so that's for the CFS, that's the joiner, and it assists with pushing the filament through. That is the mount for the monitor with the screws in it. We've got some filament swatches, like so. The display, Allen key with some screws, and it tells you what it's for. It is for, it's for the buffer. That shows you with skid stickers on, and all of the packs have got stickers on to show you where they all go, so that's really well done, Creality. They've gotten really good in the last couple of years, showing everything they can possibly do on the printer, and they've got, oh, these are all spare parts. So they put it so then you can't really get it wrong if you read the instructions. Oh, hang on, I've got to sit down, sorry. Sorry, I got a bad back, it's just hurting a bit. So you've got some some grease, sorry. Some thermal grease. You've got some spare white pads, there's 3 of them in there. You've got a Bowden clip. So this is the joiner at the back where you join 2 bits of filament coming from the CFS into the feed at the back. What's this? I don't know what this is. Don't know what that is. Some sort of little directional type thing. Oh, there's a spare cutter and some spare little circuit board in there. Okay, so they're all spares, I'd say. In your little spares box, it's really good that they give you spares. You don't have to buy everything. Oh, geez. You get a spare nozzle in here. and the toolbox. Oh, sorry about that in your ears. Okay, so toolbox is, I've seen the toolbox before at ShareFest, so it's really good. So this is the toolbox, and it's in a hard plastic case. So you get a decent pair of snips. They're not the cheap ones, they're actually nice, expensive, and they're really nice. I've used those sort of ones before. You get a glue stick, because Creality recommends using glue sticks on some of their plates, especially if it's the A-type plate. Not so much the rough textured surface ones. You sort of don't need glue on that as much, but the smooth ones, they recommend you use the glue. You've got a USB, now that's got files on it, guys, so don't just throw that into one pile. You've got your Allen keys, you've got some more grease, lubricant grease. The other one's thermal paste in that red one, that's for hot ends and stuff. So this is to lubricate all your rails and stuff inside. You've got a bed scraper. That's to scrape off your prints once they're print, or some. The thing I find sticks, if anything, will be a brim if you put a brim on, and sometimes they get stick, or the bottom parts of the supports, and you just get under it, boop, boop, just make sure it's really flat on the bed before you go whacking that into it. You've got these two attachments, this one here and the jointed one here to go on. Showing a tip, get it out. Yeah. Okay, it goes in here. Now this is a handle, and it will go around that way. So you've got the spanner there. You take it off, it's magnetic. It's got a magnet inside there that just holds the socket bits on. So that's pretty cool. You also get, okay, it's stuck in there a bit. So you get these, they also just fit straight on like the other ones did. And the other thing you get, and these are really good, these ones, it's a little bit of wire on a bit of plastic. So what you do with these, if you get a nozzle clog, you can push this down where the filament would usually go into the extruder, and push it down and try and force the filament out the hot end. Of course, you've got to have the hot end up at around 240 when you do that, and just push it out. And if you've got a block, sometimes it pushes the block out the nozzle, so you don't have to take it apart to get the block out. So these are really handy. Yeah. So it's great that Creality is including all this stuff now. So it's good to have competition. No matter which brand you are, if you don't have competition, there's no incentive to innovate and stuff and make yourself better than the competition to sell stuff. So I'm really helping. It's a healthy printer environment, and everyone can get on with everyone. And because without Creality, Bambu doesn't really go very well, or the prices will be sky high, and there's no incentive to create new things. And without Bambu, Creality doesn't get pushed. Without Anycubic, without Sovol, all those sort of ones, if they're not there, there's no incentive to push harder to make new stuff. So you should be sort of cheering on all the printer manufacturers, because they all help make your product, no matter which printer it is. It helps make your product better. Okay, pull all the tape off. Now, I was lucky enough about a couple of weeks ago to actually go to China and see the production line and stuff of these getting produced. It's pretty thorough. I'm telling you, I don't know how it is that any arrive not working. You know, you get the transport issues, of course, but the process I saw of them checking and stuff was really top class. So the top comes in a nice cardboard pack. And it is glass. Okay, what else is in the box here? In the top we have, the other thing we got in the box, what the hell is this? Oh, so this is a side spool. So that will fit on this side. So if you have a look on the side here, it's got an RFD indicator. Okay, other things we've got in here is lots of plastic. Not sure if anything's in here. Always open the boxes, guys. Even if they look empty, they may not be, so you just got to double check everything, but this is definitely empty. It's just a filler. 1 roll of filament. 2 rolls of filament. Let's have a look what colour they are. What does it say on this one? Red. Blue. Everything is packed in so tightly, nothing can move around, so least amount of damage possible if things aren't able to move around a fair bit. They've done a really good job, yeah. Nothing's going anywhere. Okay, you can see this is a CFS and it is screwed in here. So we've got to get those out. There's 1. There's 2. I'm just keeping the screws. Okay, so there's 2 screws on the front here and 2 on either side, going up. Okay, so it's just a bit of plastic. I don't think you need it anymore. You might want to keep it in case you want to. No, what would you do? Why would you put that back in? Just throw it out. There's that. Oh, same as well. They've got 2 down the bottom on either side and the 2 at the front. So same sort of thing. They definitely didn't want it moving. So there's the other bit of plastic. And then the CFS should just come straight out like that. There's more boxes and stuff in there. So this is a CFS, yeah, so it's got all its internals on the outside here. So you can get it all the Bowden tubes for each filament going in, and all the releases are there. This is a release for the filament at the back here. So if you need to move the filament in out here, you just push that button in the back there. It's got on each side these little levers that lock the top in place. So if you just push them back, then you can open the lid, and you'll see inside here you've got just at the back here there's 2 desiccant holders, and this is these are the filament feeds that have got little bits on the inside here, little levers there, those little levers. So they release the clamp on the filament on this side. Now in the desiccant packs in the middle, you're going to have to take them out because they're in a plastic bag. So just open that plastic bag. You've got them, and you just put that back into where you took it out of and put the cover back on. So the cover is just a normal, it's got a little clip at the top there, you just push it in and it comes out. And then these are just shoved inside the little hole there. Put them back in, and you line those 2 little things up towards the front of the CFS and just push in at the back. So it's a bit different to some of the others on the market because the only rollers are here. It's got a roller here, but it's just a free rolling one. The motor's actually at the front here, so it chews up the filament reels less if you're using cardboard. It won't completely stop it getting chewed up, but it does reduce the chewing. So what have we got here? More cardboard, yep. And more. More cut. We've got, that's interesting. Because they wanted the filament to fit in really nice and tight and snug, they put the filament box inside a cardboard box to make sure the it wasn't going to rattle around at all. So we've got white, so red, blue, white, and it's probably going to be black. So, yep, black. And black. Cool. So they're all our filament rolls. That's pretty much it. Now, inside here you can see these little white things on the side here. So it's got a big ladder on. So basically you just unclip the posts and it just pulls off. They've got these little, it's a C-clip, so it just clips on, so just pull them off. And you can't say you weren't told because it's got a little note telling you exactly what to do. Okay, so on both sides, pull them off before you operate it. If you have a look inside, guys, you'll see it's got these little yellow arrows here. Don't know if you can see them, but there's 4 little arrows, 2 on each side, and they're pointing to a little screw, and the screw is holding the build plate in place so it doesn't move around. You've got to take those screws out before you even try to turn it on, or you'll kill your machine. Well, not kill your machine. You might break the motor that's holding the build plate on, because it'll try and pull up and those will be stopping it. And the good thing is it's all the same size screw as the ones we just took out for the CFS that was in there. And they're quite long. They're long, thin, long ones. The yellow sticker points straight to them. Okay, and that's the only screw you can really see to undo. Now the other thing you might see is on either side, if you had a K1 Max or a K1 or a K1C or anything like that, they've got the big fan on the right side as you're looking into it. Well, now they've got one fan on each side, that big fan on each side to cool the part on the build plate in both directions, so it's not just doing it in one direction. Okay, it also says, that big white thing there says tear off sticker before use, so we'll do that next. Okay, so behind the little black bits at the back here, there's these filter covers, and behind them are carbon scrubbers. So basically to keep the air clean coming out of your printer. It tries to suck in all the air and fumes and stuff that are produced when you're operating it, and trying to vent them through the carbon filters and then out the back of the printer, so you've got nice clean air coming out. As you can see, there's a little blue sticker on the front here. So you peel that back and it will be, it'll be attached to a little cable inside there. And that little cable needs to poke through this hole. Okay, so the cable comes out the hole there, and good, they've given you a bit more length than they have on their other printers, which is really good. So what goes in there is the bits we got before. So we need this little thing here that says screen base on it. We need to open that up and screw that on to the front here. So it goes, there's a little knob on the back there. If you can see the little knob there. And there's one where there's 2 holes on this side and 3 on this side, and one is obviously for that little knob here. So just line it up and put the little knob there, and that's how it goes. One, and just put in the 4 little screws. You don't have to wrench this on, just put it on a bit snug, but don't try and do the nuts up as tight as, or the screws up as tight as possible, because you'll thread the screws. So once that's on, you then get your screen out, and of course it's got nice little pictures on the back of how to do it, and it just clips in. It's got 2 little clips at the side that you can push in, and just push them in, line it up, and there you go. Push it in. Once it's pushed in, it's got these 2 little hooks on the back, and they hook onto these 4 little. I'll show you. So if you see on here, you can see these 4 little bits here, and on there's these 4 little hooks just on here. So they will basically get it up and just slide it across. Push it, pull that cable out a little bit. Okay, so once you've got it in, just push it across and it locks in place, and it will tilt up. You can see if you had it tilting any further down, the door will hit it. Well, this is all the Bowden tubes. That was in the box that the spool holder was in. It had all the Bowden tubes and stuff for it, connecting the CFS up to the printer. So let's have a look what's in there, shall we? So we've got 1, 2, 3 packets, 4 packets of Bowden tube, and they actually tell you what they are. That's all the spare stuff. So you've got a Bowden tube to spool holder, so that's the one we'll be using now. This is the PTFE tube, so this tube here into the buffer. So I might put the buffer on now as well, so that will go on. I think it goes on that way, yes. So it goes on, so when you're looking at the back, if you have a look, it's got 4 connections on one end and 1 on the other. So the 4 connections go to your right. So basically you want the one facing the same direction as the one on top here. So when you put tube around, it just does that sort of loop. So we'll get the two little screws. So we've got a bag with just 2 screws and an Allen key in it. What you've got here is that's the connection into the printer. And these are the 4 connections that go into the CFSs. So you can have 4 attached to your printer. So you can have 16 colours basically. That's what it's. There we go. Just line one up with a hole, and just round we go. So what I'll do is I'll cable it up now. Now that's interesting. Ah, okay. So they've got it all outlined on the back of where they all go. So on the last one, I've got another cable. Okay, so I've seen one, when that one came for the ShareFest, they had 3 cables in there. So I'm not sure why they don't have 3 cables in this one. Because the problem's going to be, if you want to set it down by the side, you can't do it with the cables provided. So I'm not sure what Creality must be getting something organised about that. Okay, so this one goes from here, and it goes, if you have a look on the buffer, the cable can only go in one way because it's a T-junction type cable. It's got a little bit on top there, and that is a little clip where you push in the side and it opens the clip. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it only goes on one way. So which way am I putting that on? It they say to do it that way. Okay, with the bent bit goes on the buffer and the straight bit goes on the CFS. I'm just going to get the plugs ready to go. If you have a look on the back too, you got the little poop chute there. So that's where the waste comes out. So if you have a look on Creality Cloud, they've got one. They'll have a thing that you can put magnets in, and it will magnetically attach to the back here. And it's got a little shaft that comes up, and as the filament poop comes out, it'll hit the shaft and drop into the bin. Then just take the bin off when you want to release the waste. Okay, so on the side here, you've got 2 screws. It's got a little sticker telling you exactly how to put this on. It's not that hard. Sorry about some of the moaning I'm making, but my back is killing me. But it's going to kill me whether I do stuff or not, so. I'll have to get the sun and maybe my son and my sort of daughter-in-law to come and help me. Oh, I won't be lifting it, but they can lift it for me. So it basically goes on. As you see, there's little holes there. So it goes on, so it wraps around like so. So I'll just get one in place. Top hole. Yeah, so you take the screws out that were already there and you just put it in place with the screws that you took out. Just put the screws back in. Okay. So once again, don't wrench them tight, just do till they go tight, and then just a little half turn, and that's enough, yeah. Now I'll print with the CFS, what the hell. The problem is I'm going to have to put the lid on to get it like this, and I'm going to have to ask Creality if we can have a longer cable to sit it by the side. I'm surprised they didn't send one, I don't know why. I'm going to keep that. Because I plastic off. Okay, so it's got no lip or anything on it. There's a tiny little lip with a rubber seal around here, if you can see that there, guys, on the overhead camera. From here. Okay, so it just sits on top of that. It doesn't clip in or anything, it just sits on top. So then you put the CFS on top of here, like so. And the cable, on the back of the CFS you've got a few ports, yeah? So this, I'm not 100% sure what that's for. That might be a power, some sort of power. Looks like you can put a power plug in it, but I'm not sure. So we'll just close that off, we don't need that. But you can see there's two plugs up. Okay, there's two plugs up the top here. You can go into either one, it doesn't matter where you plug it in, because the other one's coming out and going all the way down the bottom here. Okay, so from your buffer, just plug it in, probably the one that's closest to the buffer, which will be on this side, and just plug it in. And then the other one, which is a long one, that goes from the CFS and it goes all the way down the bottom here. There's another little one on the bottom left hand side. There's two plugs. There's a network plug, and above the network plug there is a, sorry guys, if you can have a look, you'll see down the bottom here there's a plug to go in, and there's a network plug just underneath it. Cool. And the power plug's over on this side. Okay, put your back. Boop. Back a bit further. Okay. Right. So you just get the cable. And it's a longer cable, but it's got to go all the way to the bottom here. That's why it's longer. I don't think they're both the same. Yep, both the same. It doesn't matter which way you plug it around or which end you put it in, but of course they're the same sort of plug. They've got the T thing, so it'll only go in one way. Yeah. Okay. In. And then we just put the power plug in. Okay, so the Bowden tubes, you've got the spare ones there. So these ones go, oh, that's for that, so we don't put that in yet. This one goes from the buffer into the bottom part of the CFS, just up here. So I don't know if you can see the little plug just here. So that's where that goes, and it plugs into the one of the 4 holes in the CFS, in the buffer, sorry. So I face it so it's sitting on top here. Any one of the 4 on the right hand side as you're looking at it from the back. Doesn't matter which one it goes in, just push it in. You don't need to do anything special, and that just pushes in there like that. And the other one, diagrams are pretty cool. Everything's diagrammed, so you can't get it wrong. The other one goes from this end into the printer. So into the printer tube just up the top here, and the other one just fits in down here. And so you got to line it up. So there's a little tube inside here as well. So it's not just once you put it in the hole here, you've got to line it up with the tube in the back there, and it moves back and forth. So you've got to push it in so when you pull it, it's not pulling directly out, yeah? So that's it, it's all cabled up. I just plug it in. These have got, so these little things here, they're little chips inside there that identify what the filament is. So the printer should actually pick it all up when it comes, when I put it in. So, okay, so open her up. Okay, so these are reusable bags too, guys. So they've got a press seal on them, but you've got to cut the top like you do with most reusable stuff. So you just, or tear it off, it tears off as well. Just pull the top off and keep the bag so you can reuse it and put silicon, or the silica packs in them, the desiccant. and you can use it to keep your filament nice and dry. Okay, so they're packed nice and tightly, and it's round fairly nicely as well. So basically when you're putting it in the CFS, you need to cut that bit off, and you cut it off at a 45-degree angle. It's usually what's best. Get these out of here. So don't let that bit of filament go once you've taken it out of the little holes at the side, because you don't want it twisting. So always hold on to it until it's in the CFS. Okay, so let's pull you up a bit. So basically you just put it in, you get the bit of filament, you push it down into the tube here, and as soon as it goes in, it should fit, there you go. It'll notice it and it'll start to wind it in. Okay, so it's checking everything. So it's winding it. It's winding the filament into the buffer, about as far as the buffer, and just making sure it's all clear. And then I'll put the next one in. I'm also not letting go of that bit of filament, and do the same thing. Push it. If it's not going all the way in, just push the little tab. Push the little tab, yep, until it goes in. I'll just cut it straight. Okay, so put this one in and push that down in there. Oh, I can't read the, why can't I read it? Let's have a look. Okay. It came up with little error messages then, guys, which said it can't read the chip on the side of the roll. You're going to have to enter it in manually. So all I did is I manually just wound it round and let it run past the reader again, which are on the side, inside on the side. So just do a little bit around, and then it's picked it up and it's pulled the filament in. So okay, so this one goes on the end here. Got it in, yep. What's going on there? No, that's all right. Okay, that's better. Get stuck somewhere. Ah, I see. Okay. What the problem is here, guys, I'll show you. I'll pull it back out. You can see how it's not spinning. It's meant to be spinning. I'll show you what the problem is. Now, see how this is buckled over like that? It's getting caught in the little channels and it's not being able to spin. So you want to try and bend it back out if you can. I think they were a bit overzealous with this one. But it's not coming out. Might have to get a heat gun on it. Ooh, that's buckly. Okay, I'm not going to use that one in the CFS. That one's going to have problems because of the buckling of the reel. See how it's bent over? It's got little channels inside the CFS which it runs in, and it's getting caught on that because it's bent. Let's go get another reel. So I just happen to have a roll of Hyper PLA, and it's a blue Hyper PLA, so we can just use this instead. Now this will work fine on the manual side spool. It's just in the CFS they need to be fairly straight. Look how that is. Well, that's not much better. So if you've got a respooling thing that you can get online and Thingiverse or whatever, and you can re-spool it onto another spool that's straight if you've got one. So it's just in the packing, when they packed it, the vacuum thing has squeezed it a little bit too tight. It's because they're only half full reels. Okay, so when you put it in, just make sure, see, oh, that might work. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's working. Cool. It's all ready to go. So we'll just close the top. I've got all white lights across the front now. And we're going to come down here and set this up. Okay. Now. Right, so it's asking what language, so we'll just go English. That's English. It's telling you, have you taken those 4 screws out that I took out earlier? And it's showing you the location of them, so I've already done that. Make sure there's nothing at all left in the cabinet, which there is not. You ever read the policy? Yeah, read all that, guys. You can scroll up to read it and then click that and go next. Then it's asking for the internet. If you want to connect up to the internet, I'm going to do that now. So it has joined onto my network. Cool, and I can go next. It's asking for time zone, so find your time zone in it. It's set to China at the moment. I'm on the same time zone as China, so I don't need to change it, but flick through and have a look. This will ask if you're international or Chinese mainland, and just keep it on international if you're at that. And self-check, it's going to do self-check now. Make sure you're not touching it and stuff while it does the self-check. It takes about 15 minutes, so there you go. Don't touch it while it's doing its test, is what it just said then. Okay guys, so while that's going on, I'll just show you the difference between the K series, the K1 series, and the K2 nozzles. Don't want to go while it's doing that. So if you have a look here, you'll see that it's a lot bigger. So you can't use a K1 nozzle on the K2. The back bit's about identical, it's just the threaded bit is that much longer. You can see. So that's how much longer it is. Cool. So the longer one being the K2, of course. So let's come up here and said that the test is complete. Okay, now we can go in and just check. I won't do that now. Now what we can do is just check that the filament has read properly, and you can see over on the side here it's got all the filament colours. So if you click on that, you can see 2 of them didn't read properly for some reason, but it doesn't matter. We know we've got white PLA, we know we've got red PLA, and in the second one we've got black PLA. So we come down to the little pencil here, click on that, and we can go what brand? It's Creality, and it is Hyper PLA, it's picked up that already, and it is black. So click in that and go black. And it's already set out all the temperatures and stuff for it. You can change them there if you want, but we're going to leave them as. You can change the pressure advance as well, but we'll leave that there because Creality's pretty good at picking the right one. And over here, this one didn't pick up as well. It won't because it doesn't have a chip on it. But it's also Creality PLA, but it is blue. Probably not that blue. Yeah, it is that blue. I'll go with that blue. And you can see now all the they're all populated with colours and type. So we can just go out. So in that, what you've got is you've got your home key, which will show you, what's that say? Cannot read, it's just saying it can't read the filament. And you've got to enter it manually, which is what we just did. Here we've got the nozzle temperature, here we've got the bed temperature, and here we've got the chamber temperature, because you can heat the chamber up if you want to heat the chamber up. But you've got fan and light control, so if you want to turn the lights off, you can do it there. And you can probably just see the light underneath here come on and off. Now on the second one down, we've got movement and temperature. So basically that's to control the temperature and the movement of the bed and the gantry, or not the the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, here you can set the temperatures like we did on the front one. We've got in here is folders, so they're all your prints you can print that are loaded on the printer at the moment. If you've got a USB, you can shove it in the side here and click USB and it'll try and read it. And history is what you printed so far. Down in here is where you do all your calibration. I don't like the screen turning off after 3 minutes, so if you go no setting, it'll stay on all the time, but I might leave it at 5. And here you can do self-checks and stuff. So if you go into self-check, you can actually do input shaping and auto leveling in there if you want to reset all of that. Time zone you can change, it's the one we set at before. Bind to the Creality Cloud, so if you want to get your phone out and you've got Creality Cloud on it, you can come in here and it will give you the barcode or the code to scan it and put it in the cloud, or not in the cloud, yeah, in the Creality Cloud application on your phone. Then you've got version checking, so if you click on that, it will go off and you can say, check on the CFS, check that that's good. It's currently doing the latest one, and if I click on this one, it's going to tell me that there's a upgrade for it because we cancelled that earlier. So going down the list, we've also got now reset to default. If your printer's printing fine, then all of a sudden starts printing really funny and stuff. I always do a reset to default, and basically it'll come and say, what do you want to clear? I usually clear everything because I save my stuff on my computer instead of on my printer. But you might not want to do the G-code files, but sometimes the G-code files are the best ones to get rid of. But if you're having problems, just get rid of the lot and go OK, and it will start doing that test that it just did after we turned it on. And it will reset everything, so then you can go back and make sure that G-code or something coming across with any models or something you've loaded haven't caused a bit of a problem. Expert mode is where you can get the Z offset, so that's the height. The Z offset is the height of the nozzle to the bed when it's printing. You can change the flow rate, and you can do a nozzle PID calibration, so that's a temperature calibration of the nozzle. Make sure it's within the right range, so you can do all that expert mode. And it actually tells you a bit about your printer if I can get into it. There we go. And over the side you've got all your things in there. Down here is help, and you can do error history and fault reporting. So the error history here was it couldn't pick up the code on the thing, and there you can report your fault to and export your log for the help desk if you ring up the help desk. Now what we want to do is go in the folder, and we want to go into the local because it's got the little benchy there. So we're going to print that. It's picked up all the colours. As you can see, this is the colours it wants to use, and these are the colours we've loaded. So they correspond, so that's okay. Do we want to do calibration and stuff? Well, I'm not going to because we've just done it. The calibration, so I'm not going to write calibration, but enable CFS, we're going to have to do because we want the CFS run, and we just go print to print. And it will go around and do a print. So I'll show you. Can I get it back? And you can probably see how the CFS works and printer at the same time.
A few moments later.
So as you can see, it's rolling in the filament now. You can just see at the back it's just spitting out some filament. It's just clearing the nozzle. I don't know if you can see it from there. Bring it a bit closer. Still spitting out a different colour now. It's gone to blue, had a bit of white in there. Cleaning the nozzle. Okay, and it just does a test print over on the corner here that you can probably just see, and away it goes. Now, it spat out 2 little bits of poop, so with that nozzle clearing. So it is motoring. The speed is the normal speed. Okay guys, so we've had a bit of a jam. I don't know why. Let's have a look. So if you turn it on, so you close the lid up and lock the lid, and then we can come in the back here and have a look. If I pulled out the back cable from the printer and there's no filament in it. So it's caught somewhere in between. It's on this one here. It's not in there either. Ah, where's it caught then? Why didn't it come out when I pulled it? Okay, pretty sure that's not caught. Cool. Okay, so what I did, I decompressed the clip here and I pulled it out, and the filament hasn't come out there. So it's caught somewhere inside. It just hasn't fed in properly, I think. Let's have a look. Put that back in. Okay, so that area is all good, and you can see how easy it is to get access to that. So now unclick this and figure out why it's got caught in here. Okay guys, so I left it printing overnight, and what we got is, this is the ASA one. It's come out really nice for ASA. It printed flat, didn't lift off the bed at all. And these are on default settings, yeah? So if we have a look, these turn fine. These, where is it? This way, turn fine, just to open the sides up. Oh, come on, gotta get my fingers in there. Okay, as you can see, these are all printed really well, except the very top there's a bit sort of ragged on that top one and the second one there, but all the rest are okay. And the holes here are really good. These work really well. As you can see, they're just moving fine. The tolerances there are fine. This side, tolerances are fine. Now with the tolerance test here, they all fell out. So I tried to push one and they all fell out. So they're meant to come out. So I've got 3 of them there, and the only one that didn't come out is a 0.1, and that's not coming out at all. And poster thing works really good. You can see the quality inside there is pretty good. Stick it up. So I didn't put it through the CFS because ASA is quite abrasive and I didn't want to kill my CFS. So I went through on this side spool with this one. I haven't done anything to it. All I've done is pulled it off the bed and just push the tolerance bits and they will come out. Now with the TPU, this is TPU. Printed with default settings. You can see the writing there is pretty good too. And these work as well, as you can see. It just locks in, comes out. This one, same on this side. Opens up like so, a little bit easier. Now you can see the, it's still a tiny bit, this is printed better than probably the ASA on the top lines there. And all the holes are pretty good, yeah. This works as well, as you can see. Now, okay, so these actually fall out because they are printed in TPU and the sides flex and they just come out, see that just moves. So if you want to see it's in TPU, I'll just pull them out. See, it's the sides flex and the little cogs come out because it's not meant to flex. It's not meant to really be done in TPU. So, yeah. Now with the tolerances, I couldn't get any of these out. They're in pretty, but you'd expect that with TPU because, oh, hang on. That out. Oh, that out. 3 coming off. 3's out. 2 not really. 1's not coming out. 2's not coming out. Now, side fell off because that's also flexy. And I'll just put it back in and I go back on. So I've got everything except 0 and 2 out of these. And these are flexy too, so that's a pain in the butt trying to get them out. But it closes back up. Like so, and this goes back down. Now what I did do with this though is I just ran a little lighter over here because it did have some spider stringing type stuff, like little bits of really wispy bits of filament. Where it join with TPU you get that sort of thing. So I just basically held it over a flame and just went and that's all I did with this one, so we'll let you know that. But you can see the quality of this TPU on that machine. Pull it down. So I didn't do anything to this. I haven't done anything at all except do the flame over where the wispy bits were. Now with my boat, I did have a little problem with the benchy because one of the filament rolls, I don't think it liked it too much and it basically didn't come out, so it just printed in mid-air. Printing in mid-air about halfway, then it said, hey, it looks like I'm printing in mid-air, do you want me to stop? So the AI kicked in, okay, noting that it didn't print the black. So I didn't get any black printed, but you can have a look at the quality of this benchy. And it's really good. So this is the file supplied on the card. Oh, sorry, on the printer. So it's already on the printer. You don't need a card for it, sorry. And you can see the overhangs are just really nice. There's a little bit of wispy stuff there. If I'd run the little, you can see a little bit of, I'm not sure if you can see a little wispy sort of bit of stringing in there. It's not much, it's sort of like a few bits of hair. I guess I could do this and get rid of it, but you can have a look inside. You see the steering wheel and everything. It's really nice. I can't see much layer lines on it either. I don't know if you can see layer lines on that. But that is really nice benchy. And the colour changes are really good too. I can't see any bleeding or anything in between those colours. So that's really nice. So the benchy came out really well if I didn't stuff up with the black. Now the waste, you're probably wondering what the waste was. So basically this stayed on the board and it was onside this tower. So it's just for some reason it did a brim on the tower but nothing else. So that's waste, and this is waste. So not a massive amount, but there is some. Okay, so we have where the red changed, the whites, the white and blue, and the blue. And that's all the waste. So that's the waste I had from all the colour change. Don't forget there's no black in there, so you'd have a black, maybe 2 little black ones as well inside of all that waste. So all in all, I'm really impressed by this machine. The ASA didn't lift off the board at all. The TPU printed really nicely. It had a little bit of, like, not string, it's almost like spiderweb stuff in it. But that just came out as soon as you put a flame on it, gone. So I didn't have to do anything with that. And they just pulled off the board. I didn't need to let it cool. With the ASA, I just flexed it and it popped off. With the TPU, it did cool down a bit because it was overnight. And I just put the scraper underneath and just peeled it off. It was fine. I haven't done anything at all to the printer. With the boat, I didn't even slice it. It was just the one that supplied. But with the torture toaster, so these guys, I just pulled the file off Thingiverse, and I then used the default for ASA and the default for TPU. I didn't change anything else, just put in the defaults and printed it. And away she went and printed those. And they were both not through the CFS because you can't print TPU through in a CFS because it's flexi material and there's not enough strength and stiffness in it to push it through all the Bowden tubes and stuff that you need, plus pulling it back as well, it does. And this one is very abrasive, the ASA, so I didn't want to put that through all the Bowden tubes and stuff as well and crap them up. So they were on the side spool and it worked really well. So I think Creality did a really good job of this. For those that don't know, it's a 350 by 350 by 350 build area. It's auto sensing for the power. You don't have to turn a switch for this one. The build plate seems to be a lot thicker. So I don't think you're going to get as many bed warping issues because they've done a really good job of stiffening up that. They've also increased the thickness of the poles that go up the side that the bed runs on. They've like almost double the diameter by the looks of it. So they're nice and beefy. It's got a heated chamber in it. Not sure what that goes up to. I think it's around the 40 or 50 mark. I'm not sure. It's at Celsius. The hot end goes up to 310, I believe, and the bed is 110 too. I think that's what it is. But it's very sturdy. I mean, it's a cast metal. I'm not sure what sort of metal. It's pretty heavy. It's about 50 kilos. Not sure what that is in pounds, but it's 50 kilos. And it is a heavy machine. I wouldn't even try to lift it with my back. I had to get my 2 sons came in and moved it around for us. I didn't want them lifting it by themselves either. So it's a hefty machine. It's really well made. They've toughened up the glass of the front door and changed the hinge arrangement. So the hinges are connected a lot more firmly to the door. It's not like 2 screw. It's almost like they've glued the hinges on. So then you don't get the problems that some people had with the door smashing when they whacked it a bit hard. If you're going to place it somewhere, you want a really sturdy table. I've got it on a set of shelves like these ones behind us, but I've got it on the very bottom shelf. So it will sit on the very bottom shelf down here, which is like that far off the ground. So you're not getting a lot of movement in the shelf as it moves around. So and I put my filament and stuff on the top rows. I don't worry about that, but you probably want to have at least, when you measure it, make sure you're measuring, if you're going to put the CFS on top, that you measure the CFS with it open, not closed, because then you'll never be able to get filament in it. So you've got to be able to open the CFS. So when you're thinking of somewhere to put it, make sure you've got the CFS open. You can also put it at the side, but the cable's not quite long enough. I have reported that to Creality and they are going to look into it. But if you want to put it at the side, you've got to put it, instead of having it like side by side, you've got to turn it on so the back of the CFS is facing the side of the printer. That's the only way you're going to get the cables to fit, because the cables are made for it to stand on top of the printer. I'm sure they're coming out with more cables and stuff, because you can have four CFSs attached to the one printer. So you've got to have cables to attach those. They're not all going to sit on top of the printer. So they will address it, I've been told. So fingers crossed see how it goes. But the printer printed really well. I'm very, very pleased with it. And I think anyone that's going to get one will be happy as well. Okay guys, I'll see you next video. Hopefully it will be in a couple of days. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you made it this far. Okay guys, see you later. Bye. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate the support. You might like one of these or one of these videos that I've made in the past, so feel free. Okay, thanks guys, bye.